son of Kenneth and Jacqueline Bryant, brother of Ken Bryant, lifelong Ulster County resident, graduate of Kingston High School, SUNY Ulster, SUNY New Paltz, and eventually Albany Law School. I'm 7 years younger than my brother, and while the family was together, things were great. I was a little kid then. I always wanted to be around my parents. I loved going places with them. I loved being with them. Things were exciting. At the time, I was happy. I was a very different person. By the time I became 11 or 12, my parents separated. And I went from one extreme to the other. When I say I was happy, I had it. I couldn't complain about anything. I mean, I was able to jump over the fence into Lauren Park and play like all the kids and not worry about anything. We lived in a very comfortable environment. The house that we lived in as a family, we had 7 acres. We had an apartment on top of a garage. My mother used to come out and play kickball with me. Just her and I on the driveway. I mean, it was a very, very comfortable, fun situation. And then I can remember, I was around 11, 12. My parents started to argue a little bit. And I remember they had a pretty good argument. And my father was taking me down to the bus station. And I remember asking him, after an argument they had, "Are you guys going to get divorced?" And he said, "No, we're not going to get divorced." But what ended up happening is they ended up separating. And eventually, what resulted was my mother sharing a bedroom with me. It's funny because I look back at some of the pictures that I had, and some of the pictures really show me looking very, very unhappy. And going through that transition, I was. I mean, back when we were living in Broadway East, it was just not the place to raise a child. I mean, you had drugs, you had all kinds of crime, you had violence. It was just a bad time period for me. We struggled financially. I remember telling people around Christmas when I was asked, "Well, what'd you get?" "Oh, I got money." I didn't get money. I just knew it was something I didn't have to show. And it got me over, and I just moved on. But it was a difficult time period for me. But again, I was fortunate because I had, the Vince Bradleys. I had the Reverend Childs. I had Tommy Childs in the recreation department. I had so many good people that would look out and tell me if I was doing something wrong. They didn't hesitate. They told if I was doing something wrong or doing something right, they wanted to encourage me. I had that level of support. And, between working at Cabrini for the 5 years that I did, being at Cabrini, I was responsible for the safety and daily life of those kids during my shift, which could range from an 8-hour shift to 16 if I had to stay because there was no supervisor to replace me. So I did that for 5 years while going to school at SUNY New Paltz. And, everything that I've been through really makes me realize just how fortunate I've been.